folks. Welcome to Tuesday's Coffee with John. As we near the end of these studies, there's been a lot of them. I think this is number one, either 110 or 111, can't remember. We come to just such an interesting principle here. So John, having commended Gaius and others for being faithful to the visiting preachers who were coming to them and remaining faithful to the truth, says this: it was for the sake of the name that they went out. This is verse 7, receiving no help from the pagans. It was for the sake of the name that they went out, receiving no help from the pagans. Now, two things instantly that are directly applicable to the church today. Firstly, our motivation in seeking to communicate the gospel and to spread Christianity is for the sake of the name. That is the name of God, the name of Christ. It is not for our name's sake. We do not build our own empires. We do not seek to exalt our own name. Our whole purpose and aim is always not even to build our own particular church, but our whole purpose and aim is for the sake of the name, that is the name of Christ. And then the second principle that's involved here is that they receive no help from the pagans. And that is that unlike, the kind of wandering itinerant religious philosophers of the time would receive help from the pagans, they would get money, they would charge for their services. Christians don't do that. We just don't do that. We don't receive help from the pagans. Now, if a pagan came to me and offered me a sum of money for the church with no strings attached, of course I would take it. Of course I would take it. But we don't charge people for what we are doing. We don't seek to make money out of it. I think one of the ways that the church has gone so wrong in the health and wealth gospel is that the preachers of it seem to want to make money out of the gospel. You know, there are those, says Paul to Timothy, who think that godliness is a means to riches, to personal enrichment. And that hasn't changed. There are still people today who think that. And we must reject that in every single way possible. We get help from the Lord's people. And that is what should sustain us and keep us going. We don't seek or take help from the pagans. I was quite distressed looking at some churches at the money that they were taking for the government for performing certain government services. And you cannot help but think, well, in a way that would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that they would have to go along with the government's agenda on all things, and we must be free from that. So they went out for the sake of the name. They didn't get any help from pagans. Therefore, you need to help. For me personally, that's how I've made my living. It's the Lord's people who have provided for me to be able to do what I do, and I'm enormously grateful for that. But I hope and pray that my motivation, as yours, would be that the name of Christ would be glorified. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.